welcome back to Crazy Gamer Games. Trying a different camera angle here. This is just gonna be a quick video talking about some of the stuff I'm doing on this Jag Tiger build here. So trying this new look here. Working on the transmission. You can see the highlighted parts is what I have done on this section here. I had to use some filler to fill this gap, and what I'm using for that filler is this right here, Mr. Hobby Mr. Dissolve Putty. So I have to add a little bit more to that, so we're going to do that right now. Excuse me. If the camera bounces, I deeply apologize, because the way I have it mounted is to the table I'm working on, so we'll see how that works out. So I'm just going to add some of this in this gap right here. I want this to look nice. Hoping the lighting is a little better. So I'm just going to add this Dissolve Putty. I could have used Mr. Surfacer, but it was a little bit more of a gap than I liked to see. So just add a little bit more right there. Just dab it on there, and then we'll set that to the side. Wipe off my brush. Man, this stuff stinks to high heaven, let me tell you. So we have this part of the transmission part made. I also have this part glued up. Now this section is going to fit in the section we just filled, but it needs to be painted. This is metal black, but I'm going to paint it German gray, and I'm going to be dry brushing it, as what I did with the Burnt Panthers radiator fans. But I said before in an overview of this that I'm going to be replacing a lot of the conduits and wire and exposed grab bars and things like that. I want to show you what I have for that. I have some different wires here. Now this is all dead soft wire. This is copper wire. This is 0.5 millimeter and 0.6 millimeter. And it's good for 35th scale grab bars, but for the 16th scale I needed a little bit more, so I have some 18 gauge, some 20, and some 16 gauge here. So 22. So I have all these different gauges of wire here and some is stiffer than others. So the brass seems to be a little bit more durable than the copper. But as I showed in previous pictures of the build, I have to add some levers and handles and things like that. So I think I'm going to use copper wire or piano wire that is a little bit resilient and won't break off. So I'm going to be using that for that. Also, I want to show you how the Burnt Panther was coming along on this new camera angle. As you can see here, let me get that unpainted seat out. Yeah, that's just in there now, isn't it? Okay, so here's what I got on the Burnt Panther. Let's see if I can get you in close to look at this weathering here. You can see inside there the weathering I've done on that. I put some of that MIG internal interior wash and some of that gunmetal pigment onto the drivetrain assembly there. And then you can see the color on this section back here. I used the German gray from Vallejo and I dry brushed Tamiya's. This Tamiya right here, XF25, the light sea gray. My wife picked out that color, she liked it, so I got it. And I like it. I think it's a great color. Then I dry brushed that on there, and then I put these in place. Now, on the sides here, I did the green-brown from Vallejo surface primer, and then I washed it with the Citadel Agrath Earthshade. But I think on the top, I'm going to use the MIG 3-color filter. So I'm going to test it on the bottom here. So here's what I got. I got this filter set for German tanks from MIG, and it has blue for dark gray, tan for 3-tone camo, and brown for dark yellow. So I'm going to get out the brown for dark yellow. We're going to shake it up. Hopefully I don't shake the camera while I do this. Okay, and take our brush here. I'm going to clean it off real quick because that's the one I use for that dissolved putty. Just clean that off. This is just some Mr. Color leveling thinner. I find that it cleans up that Mr. Surfacer stuff pretty well. Or the dissolved putty. So I'm going to take this, clean that off. I'm going to dip my brush in there, and then I'm just going to apply this filter here. See what happens. I know I'm applying it to the bottom. I just want a nice even coat here. We're going to see what we get. And if you hear that, someone is doing yard work outside during my video. I apologize. Brush this all on there. I know there's some touch-up spots. This is my test bed tank for the Jag Tiger, just to see how this is going to look, because this is going to be my Jag Tiger is going to be a factory one that is just going to be the dark green yellow with some weathering. There was 88 Jag Tigers made, and mine was going to be the 89th one on the factory floor. So that's my goal for it anyways. So we'll see how this looks. See, it's starting to dry. It looks streaky. We'll let that dry for a little bit, see what happens. Now let's try to do a little bit of weathering to the radiators that I put in with some rust. So I have the Rusty Vehicles weathering kit, and I want to try this streaking rust. Now I want to try the light rust, because I have some Shake it up. I know I'm supposed to use a paint mixer for these, but I'm just going to shake it up. Now I'm going to be a little bit more careful how I place this down. I'm just going to dip it in there, dip off the most, and then I'm just going to lightly touch some areas, the edges and things. See what we have there. I really don't know exactly what I'm doing here, but I'm going to just carry on here and see what I get. Because I know I can clean it up afterwards there. There. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a cotton bud. I'm just going to roll it along there like so. So wipe it. There, I don't know if you can see that, how well you can see that. Let's try to bring that in, and we got a little rusty look to it there. See how that looks. I don't know if you can pick that up, but there's a little rusty effect to it on there. So, like I said, I'm just trying these out, trying out the build video position here and see how that works. Try a little bit of this streak. Oh, let's check that filter. That's what that filter looks like after just rubbing it on there. But I want to try a little of the streaking rust on one of these road wheels. See how that looks like. I just touched that filter. So I'm going to put it in there like so. Around that hub there. Put it in there like that. All around there, and then I'm going to come in with this Q-tip here. Cotton bud, however you want to say it. Swipe it down. I think that looks pretty good. I think that does look good. Good bit of weathering on it. You know, if you compare it to, you know, the road wheel over here, what that looks like. I don't know how good that's coming up in the... Some more light on it here. See how that looks. Hopefully that comes out okay. And then, do another one right here. Just rub it on there like so. Just brushing it on. I'll come in here and I'll take some of it off. I'm not going aggressive, I'm just taking a little bit off here. We're going to see what that looks like. We'll actually rub it on these back wheels with the cotton bud. A little bit of tone on the back wheel there. You know, like I said, I'm just practicing. This is just a test bed for the Jagdtiger build, and this is no means what I'm going to do on the Jagdtiger. I'm just experimenting with these MIG products. I have some MIG oil, the 502s, that I'm going to experiment with also. So, let me see this filter here. We can wipe some of it. Well, that's taking off the paint. That filter's taking off the paint. Okay. Well, that's good to know. So, there we go. We did some weathering on the radiators there. We did some of this streaking rust onto the wheels of the Berg Panther. And we also looked at, the new camera setup and things like that. So that's going to do it for this video, guys. For Crazy Gamer Games, as always, I'm the Crazy Gamer. You guys have a great day.